Hi, I'm Peter Birch, and in this week's show we're going to take a closer look at an important aspect at maintaining carnivorous reptiles. We're talking about nutrition. Welcome to CrittaCam. For me, I really think nutrition is one of those things most people overlook when we keep reptiles, but for me it's something I pay particular attention to. I mean, without the right nutrition, you're not going to get yourself a spectacular animal just like this albino carpet. These things are absolutely beautiful and a little bit more docile to handle. Makes them great pets. I find with the right nutrition, these animals grow at a really good rate and they look magnificent. And I mean, look at those colours. Those colours will really pop. For me, the most important part about keeping these beautiful reptiles is making sure the nutrition is at the right level. And that's the reason why I prefer to breed my own rodents here at my facility. It gives me some control over what food goes into my animals and makes them look like this. Spectacular critters. Not only that, I got to ensure that I can feed all different size reptiles. That means all different size food items. That takes a fair bit of time and a bit of skill. Let's have a closer look at that. When maintaining a large collection of reptiles, you've got to make sure that you've got a good, sustainable source of food. For me, that means producing my own food. I can keep control and consistent flow of food for my reptiles, making sure they're getting exactly what they need nutritionally wise. I mean, when it comes to breeding rodents, I only know a small portion. Most people don't get the opportunity to produce their own food and have to buy it in. Today, we're going to have a closer look at a large commercial facility that produces rodents just for you guys at home. Here we are at this large-scale rodent production facility. I mean, it is massive. It absolutely just grabs you, the amount of rodents that are here. But taking that into consideration, everything here is specifically designed just for these rodents, including the original building, its layout, and the construction, right through to the dietary needs of the rodents themselves. So let's learn some more about these wonderful little creatures. There's two very important things about maintaining a large collection of rodents. Being mammals, they need lots of food and they need fresh water. This system here is a self-regulating system that fills up with water when it needs it and disperses it through this system, allowing it to gravity feed into each individual box. Now inside each individual box, there's a nipple, a brass nipple, that allows the animal to lick on that nipple and get the water as they need it. That's pretty cool, and it saves a lot of time for the guy maintaining this huge collection. The second important thing, like I said before, was the food. This food here is specifically formulated food for rodents. It's got everything they need to grow big and strong and healthy. We're not talking excess fats. We want these animals to be in the prime condition because whatever goes into these rodents will end up going back into your reptiles, making them big, healthy animals. Now, too much fat can transfer into your snake or your lizard, and it could cause some serious issues, just like it does with humans. So that's the reason why we want to make sure that these guys are well looked after so that your reptiles are well looked after. Running a large facility like this still means you need to keep good records. This is the record keeping system here. It doesn't look like much, but it tells the guy that's running this facility exactly the cage number and when these animals were last rotated. Now, rotating animals means that there's new sexually primed animals that can produce larger quality and quantity of animals within that time frame that's necessary. Now, the reason why he needs to do this is to maintain his production rates. Maintaining production rates means he can consistently produce high numbers of rodents to fulfill the needs of the people that have reptiles, just like you guys at home. Now, these animals need to be grown to different sizes. So if you have a specific size need for your reptile at home, whether it be a 50 gram, 100 gram, or 150 gram rat, they don't just come straight out of the box at that size. They've got to be specifically allowed for, grown up to those size weights. They've got to be weighed, they've got to be processed, packaged, shipped to the pet store so you can find it nice and conveniently. That takes a lot of work. Now, believe it or not, with all these animals here, the maintenance of them is pretty high. In fact, every single box, just like this one, has to be rotated, cleaned out, mopped up, and made pretty for the next lot of animals, just like this. Now, I've volunteered to help out today to do a few tubs. I'm really not a big fan of rodents. Most people know I'm allergic to animal hair, but I don't mind rodents. They're pretty cool little creatures. They're not savage beasts. In you go, little fellas. Now, in this litter here, it's about time that some of these little weaners actually come out and move on. The reason why is because there's a new litter of pups, just like these guys, coming in. And those little weaners will actually steal the milk from these little pups, meaning it's going to be a little bit more difficult for them to grow. So, we just pull all these little creatures out. Come here, little fella. Here we go. Now, that's probably the easiest part of the job. And I'll get Darren to chuck that back on the rack. Here, Daz. Lucky you. Oh, I'm working on it, boss. This is probably the worst part of the job, getting rid of the garbage. Now, everyone thinks what goes in comes out, but it doesn't. In fact, there's a lot more fecal mess in there, there's excess food, and man, it really stinks. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna be here all day helping clean these out. I sure hope the pay is good. Man, this isn't the favorite part of the job, I can tell you that. I don't think this is where you start at the top. Now I'm going to wash it. So the next stage, we give it a good rinse and a good scrub. Imagine how much time this takes with so many boxes. Look at that, cleaned it like a champ. Now to sit back and relax. What? Ah, man. Looks like I'm going to be here all day. I hope you can appreciate at home the amount of time, effort and work that goes into producing rodents just like this for you guys at home to feed to your reptiles. Man, that's more work than I could ever do. Please leave a comment below, hit us up on Facebook and Twitter. Until next time, thanks for watching CrittaCam.